This is the Horror Movie Project Podcast, and this is Dead Michael, Crazy Horror Collector on YouTube, and my co-host is
Dan from Reject Filmz, Filmz with a Z, and make sure you guys check out my YouTube video for Whorehound Weekend Cincinnati. It was a really awesome time, got some pretty good footage, and really appreciate you guys check that out and give it a like.
Yep. Did you have a good time there, man?
Yeah, man, it was a blast. Always really packed. You know, we had Negan was there from Walking Dead, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and you had Tobin Bell, John Waters, and Lloyd Kaufman was there, the owner and everything of Trauma. So you had a lot of good celebrities, so I expected it to be pretty packed. But yeah, look forward to going to the next one.
Yeah, it looked cool. Alright, we're gonna do the Nightmare on Elm Street. We're gonna do 1 through 4 today. And then next podcast, part 2, we're gonna do the rest of them, even with the remakes. So make sure you stay tuned for the next coming one. But yeah, let's get started then. Alright, first, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Weird face. Here are those fingernails.
That's amazing you saying that. That made me remember the dream I had last night.
What'd you dream?
I dreamed about a guy in a dirty red and green sweater. Is it real?
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
What do you have to say about this film, man?
I mean, this movie is just a classic, definitely. Probably the scariest one of the franchise, for sure. It had the most dark elements to it and everything. And very well directed. The acting was actually pretty decent. And, you know, Wes Craven just did a great job directing this film. And it's definitely held up over the years as well. I mean, just created a huge following for this franchise and everything with that first one.
Yeah, it was really badass, dude, with the way he was sharpening the glove in the beginning. Like, that just kind of draws you in with the movie. It's just like, wow, this is gonna be cool.
Right, yeah, I actually had that, wrote down as, that opening scene with him making the gloves and everything. Just, it tells you you're in for a nice, suspenseful, horrific ride in this film, and it's not going to be like a horror comedy or anything. It's going to be a slasher film.
Yeah. And you got the classic Nancy's in it, I mean, if you think of like photos from Nightmare, you always there's a lot of them with just her with Freddy, so it's kind of, I don't know, she's kind of iconic in the franchise in a little bit, so.
Right, yeah, Heather Langenkamp did great in this film, and, just a FYI, this program does contain spoilers as well, so.
Yep, it does. I forgot to mention that, but we did now, so you know now, right, before we go so far in it.
I'm sure most everybody's seen at least this first one. I mean, if not on DVD or Blu-ray, some point in time on TV.
Yeah.
So, I mean, spoilers for this aren't really going to be too much, but
yeah, there was really cool effects in it too. I mean, you had the long arms, you had when he ripped his face off, the skull. I mean, and the list goes on. I mean, it's not just like those are the only things. It's crazy how much cool effects were done, throughout the whole movie, and not just this, but other movies in the franchise. It's crazy. But yeah, I liked it with the kids. Like, it was pretty funny when they were like doing car explosions and stuff to like be like, oh, I'm here, like trying to get their parents to believe that, oh, I gotta go do this or whatever. That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know.
So what exactly is the story on the first one?
So the backstory to this one, Nancy starts to have some dreams, and pretty much what the whole thing is her parents killed Freddy Krueger because he was a child murderer. It's kind of pretty much the whole story, and then he comes back to haunt their kids and go after them as well, because he kind of does in the movies as well. He goes after some of the parents. But yeah, she starts to see this guy that's all burnt up, and she's like, what is going on? And then her parents try to make her think she's crazy, and then they finally start to admit it to her, slowly but surely. And same with the other people, with the other kids. They start to pick up the pieces, and they're like, my parents know what happened. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. This guy's coming back to get them that her parents killed.
Right, to teach their parents a lesson or whatever, get revenge on the parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
simple backstory.
Yeah.
Really.
Got a burnt up guy in a Christmas sweater with the hat, and his claws coming after you in your dreams, so you can't fall asleep. And they're all jacked up on caffeine and probably wide awake pills or whatever. I think Nancy, didn't she stay up like 7 days in this movie or something?
Yeah, it was something like, she mentioned something about, I checked the records however many days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you want to move on to some of the kills in here? There's only a few of them in here, I do believe.
Yeah, well, Johnny Depp's in this too, and he gets killed off in it. I think we did we mention him in here yet? I wasn't sure.
No, this was his first film, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's her boyfriend, and he's all mad. He has to go. The first kill, really takes place in, they want Tina, the friend, right, is freaking out, and the boyfriend of hers, they're off and on or whatever, and he kind of runs over there, and then Nancy's boyfriend and her go to the house, and they're kind of sleeping in separate rooms, and then those two are, getting it on, and pretty much they both all sleep, and then Freddy kills her, and she's flying all over the walls, and, pretty much they open the door, and this guy just looks like a mass murderer. You're going to just assume he killed her in the beginning here. You're not going to think it was any Freddy. He's like, oh, I know what happened. I saw him. But they don't believe him,
Right. They even say that, they found a razor blade on the boyfriend. What's his name? Rod?
Yeah. And you can tell, too, that her dad, that's the cop, he might know what's going on at this point, but he wants to, throw this guy in jail just because that way everyone will forget, with this one case, it's like a incident that nobody knows who Freddy is, and he wants to shut this thing up. You can kind of tell. They just want to shut it up and not have anyone else know about it.
Right, which her dad, played by John Saxon, who's a pretty iconic actor.
Yeah, he does a good job in it.
Yeah, he's definitely the best acting in this one. Or him and Heather Langenkamp.
Yeah, and he even uses his own daughter to capture the boyfriend of Tina, so then he goes right to jail. And then Freddy gets him in the jail, which his kill isn't as cool. It's just him hanging himself with the bed sheets. I was kind of expecting more, but so it just looks like he commits suicide, which they pretty much are like, oh, I guess he was guilty or whatever.
Yeah, I think with the other, couple major gory kills in it, his wasn't real graphic or anything, but the other ones kind of make up for it.
Yeah, they do.
So, especially for that time in film, it's not. It was pretty shocking to see how much blood comes out of some of these scenes.
Yeah. You got, and then you got the boyfriend, constantly going over to Nancy's house to, sneak up. He always would go up that, was it for you, like Rose Garden or whatever? People have them on their houses. I don't have one, but people got them where it's like, I don't know, it climbs up that thing to get to the window or whatever.
Right. Which his name is Glenn in this one.
Yeah, and he's supposed to watch her, and he always falls asleep. So it doesn't really help. She tells him he's got to watch her, and then she goes into the dream world, and that's when you start to really see how Freddy's world is, and it's really cool. Like, it's kind of its own world, the dream world, or whatever you call it. But yeah.
Of course, you have the iconic scene of her answering the phone and the time.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Yeah, they even have, I think they even have a toy, like, of the phone with, like, the tongue on it.
Right. I don't know if they made one, like, legitimately or not, but I know I do see them at conventions and stuff that you can buy.
The one in the
props or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen the one thing you can buy, like a statue type figure thing. I'm pretty sure it's Nancy in the bathtub with the claw coming up. I've seen that before, but that's kind of an iconic scene too.
Right, which is another iconic scene from this one, definitely.
Yeah.
And seeing how they did that and stuff, cutting there's a hole underneath or whatever, and there's a guy underneath there, and
it's like, it kind of reminds you like a crack in like ice underwater, kind of. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Like, he's trapped under there, and he kind of tries to bring her down there with him. But yeah.
So yeah, then the third kill would be Johnny Depp's character Glenn. Falls asleep watching Miss Nude America or whatever it was he was trying to watch and listen to music at the same time, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't have to hear the TV.
Yeah, he's got all that stuff on. He's even got like music on his head, I think, and then it like, doesn't he just suck him up in the bed, and then blood just goes all over the walls and everything.
Right. Yeah, it shoots out pretty good.
Yeah.
And his mom opens the door and freaks out.
Yeah, that was cool. You just see it like running up everywhere.
So moving on to the end of this film, how Freddy kind of dies, or how they take care of him. What happens is Nancy takes away Freddy's energy.
Yep, she makes it like where she doesn't believe in him anymore, kind of, and like pretty much since all those other guys are dead now, only ones that know are the parents, but they don't ever talk about it, and they don't really give it the time of day. I don't even think they really say the name or anything. So.
Right, I mean, her mom does in the scene in the kitchen, where she finally admits, it was when she asks who Fred Cougar is, because his name's in the hat, everything like that.
I think she does end up dying though, because they claim she commits in the second film. They claim not the second. I think it's the third, but. They find out that she committed suicide, they claim, but I think Freddy gets her in that one thing.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess
takes her out through the window at the end scene there. Yeah. And then opens up for, it doesn't really say that he dies. I mean, but yeah, like you were saying before, he lives off of, their fear of him, and everything like that is what makes him exist.
Yeah, it's kind of like a urban legend or something. How many people know about it? That's how it exists, kind of. And the same here, but he actually comes to life with the people. He uses the energy of all those people that know he exists, so he's more powerful. So yeah,
it definitely planned on being a franchise or whatever, though, with that end scene where they all get in the car and it's got the Freddy top to it, and all that good stuff. And
I've heard there's alternate endings to it, but I haven't seen the other versions other than the one with the top going over the Freddy top. But yeah.
Alright. I know I've seen them. I don't remember exactly what they were. I think they're on the bonus disc to the Blu-ray set. It's probably on there.
Yeah.
but I haven't watched that yet. And yeah, I did watch all these on Blu-ray for the first time, and what a difference it makes. There's so much stuff I noticed that I never noticed before.
Yeah, I watched it on. I just got that DVD set where it's got a picture of Freddy with all the DVDs, like in there, the box set. I also have them on, like, you know, you get like 4 on like one disc, but I didn't really. There's actually not much difference because they're like the same. Like the title screens and everything are pretty much the same from what I could see, but I'm not sure. There might be a slight difference. IMDb for the first film gave it a 7.5. The Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 94%. It was an 83% audience for Rotten Tomatoes. And I would give this film, I would say, an 8. I mean, I like it a lot. It's good. It's a darker look to it. The only thing that, I mean, it's a whole different Freddy, too, from the other movies. Like, he seems to get more, like, he's really, like, dark in this film. Same with the second one, kind of, too. Like, he's not as dark in the second one, but he's not so, he doesn't do as many jokes. And I kind of like the Freddy that does more jokes. So, I don't know. It's still cool, though. What did you give this one?
I give this one a 9 out of 10, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, he's definitely darker in this one, but that was Craven's vision on this one. I mean, we've all heard the backstory of where he got his inspiration from, the guy outside his window when he was a kid.
Was it like a homeless guy or something?
And stuff. Yeah, the homeless guy and everything like that. You know, so it was definitely what he was going for in this movie, to be that darker. But, I mean, like you, at the same time, I do like the comedic Freddy as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this definitely set the standard for this kind of film. And, you know, I try to rank these movies for what they did for the genre and everything like that, not just as a movie itself, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, it's one that you can put on and watch alone in the dark and still feel kind of scared. You know,
yeah,
it's definitely held up.
There is one more scene I should mention too, since it's kind of iconic. We forgot the one with the wall with her in the bed. That's pretty awesome. Where he's coming out of the wall.
Oh yeah, where he comes out of the wall.
Yeah, that was sweet. All right, so let's go to the second movie then. Freddy's Revenge.
Someone is coming back to Elm Street. He is not friendly. He is not patient.
Kill for me!
And he is not a welcome visitor. But he has something terribly special for the new kid on the block.
It started to happen again.
Freddy Krueger is back on Elm Street.
Get out of here, Lisa!
Fight him!
Watch out for him. He'll be in your neighborhood soon. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2.
You are all my children now.
Freddy's Revenge.
It's pretty much a kid that moves into her house. You know, the bars are still up, which I'm surprised they didn't take them down. Because Nancy's house had bars on there. And he moves in, has no knowledge really of this, finds a diary, and the boiler room is like calling him. And because from the first one, the boiler room in the, was it the furnace had his like glove in there and stuff?
Right, where her mom kept the glove.
Yeah. Yep, and it's kind of calling him down there, and like, they're still, even though he's been forgotten, like it's starting to like grab him, kind of like bring him.
Freddy's trying to find a way back in.
Yeah.
To the world, to the dream world, and everything. Try to get people knowing about him again, or whatever.
Yeah. And I don't know. This was a weird movie. Like, To say the least,
Yeah,
really.
I mean, he tries to use Jesse to make him strong again, is what he's, trying to do, using him as a body to do these kills and everything. And, he even says, kill for me and all that kind of stuff because he needs this power back. He's weak, he's not strong enough to, come into people's dreams on his own and everything like that.
No, and some of the scenes that I don't think you'll ever forget from this is when he cleans his room. That was just freaking crazy, dude. I didn't know what to think of that.
Right.
Just put on the glasses and everything.
Definitely iconic in a bad way.
Yeah,
for sure.
Not in a good way.
And that's something that I actually talked to Mark Patton about when I met him at one of the conventions. Doing that dance scene. If he enjoyed it or not.
Nice. Yeah, and then his coach, I don't know. Was he dreaming, when he met his coach at that bar that they were at, and he's like, his coach has got bondage and stuff on? That was messed up.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I was wondering, too.
Thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, because, he meets his coach, his coach is like, hey, I'm at this club. His coach just grabs onto him, and he's like, you're going to work out, I'm going to watch you, and then you're going to take a shower. Just what the hell?
Yeah, they never really, specify anything in this movie. Is kind of, just left up to you, I guess, to know if it's a dream or reality. I would assume that part's all a dream, walking into the bar with no shoes on or anything, and, it's pouring down rain, he's walking in, and, like you say, your coach brings you back to the gym to run laps, and, I don't think that would really happen. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he kills his coach at the school, and it's really Freddy that comes out of him and kills him, but he ties him up with ropes and stuff. And that's really your first kill in it.
Alright, this is definitely known as the gayest horror film.
Yeah, I thought about...
you watch any of the special features or anything, and they'll all admit to it.
Yeah.
That's what it's become known as, so...
I thought about mentioning that.
Might as well go ahead and say it.
Yeah. Might as well just be straight up with it, yeah.
And then come to find out, some odd time after the movie, Mark Patton admitted that he was gay, So...
I gotcha. Yeah, I did know, with the bar, let alone, you pretty much get the idea from that, and not just the bar, but that dance, and the coach, the way the coach just seems like he's, a pedophile, kind of, because, the way they're trying to make him come off, I don't know if that was a dream or if he's really like that, who knows. They didn't really explain it, but, he's watching you work out, and then he's, comes into that shower room, or I think it was because Freddy brought him in there so he could kill him, but I don't know.
There's other parts, in the movie too, where, something's trying to get inside of me or whatever like that. Leaves the party with the hot chick to go be with his buddy.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah. He's even the guy said that to him, he's like, you have your chick out there, and then you run here to be with me?
But, let's go ahead and move on from that discussion of it.
Yeah. He also, I don't know, with the parents, with the friend that he runs off to, he's the next victim in that room, and I don't get it, because he doesn't jump out the window, he just pounds on that door, he just sits there, and he, watches him morph into Freddy, pretty much, and he just sits there and knocks, his parents are trying to get through the other side, and I just don't get why because the one dude jumps through the window, right after, and he gets out, right away, and you'd think that he'd do the same, but he's like, I'm gonna try to get through this door regardless, it's gonna happen, but, even if I'm dead, I'm gonna get through it. He just doesn't. He just gives up.
I mean, that was a pretty cool scene, where Freddy comes out of Jesse's body and everything. Though it was.
Yeah, he pretty much just
his friend Grady.
Yep.
And that was a pretty weak kill on that scene, though. I wasn't too impressed with that one.
And then he goes to the party, and I thought, I forgot kind of what happened with the party scene. I mean, I've seen it before, but I thought that it was going to be like Hellraiser 3, where, he goes into the party and just kills them all. Like, I was thinking it was going to be just like that. I was like, this is going to be badass. I'm going to see so many kills in this one movie. And it doesn't really end like that. Like, some of the kids, get killed, but the kills aren't really super epic with a lot of them. I mean, it's just like he slashes them or something, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. There's a slash to the face of one and stabs another one in the stomach, and that's about it.
Yeah, and then don't the rest get out somehow? Like, after they're trying to get the gate's locked, he locks the gate, and I don't know.
But you do have the iconic, phrase and scene at that pool party, where he says, "You're all my children now." I mean, that's definitely the best scene of the whole film right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, that's what I was thinking, though. I was like, he's just gonna completely destroy it. Like, I kind of wish he would have, because that would have just been so cool. Watching them all get picked off, but...
Or even just, set a big fire to the whole thing, just burn them all or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, they held back, it felt like, with that, and I don't know, then the dad comes out with, a shotgun or something.
Yeah.
And then, I'm pretty sure, doesn't he kill the dad? Or...
I don't think so. I didn't write it down as a kill, so I don't believe.
I don't know what happened.
Kind of
There's some...
at it.
Yeah, he shoots him or something. For some reason it kind of all blends in with that pool scene.
Yeah, like I say, nothing in this movie really makes a whole lot of sense. So it's just kind of there for whatever reason, and it just moves on to the next scene. I don't. It's hard to explain some of this.
Yeah. Yep. And then he freaks out too, and he's making out with this chick, and then he does the Freddy tongue, so he stops, and that's when he actually ran off to that one guy. But he starts to Freddy's coming out of him randomly throughout the movie. He just knows he's possessed by this entity, kind of, I guess, in a way. I don't know how to describe it, because Freddy's not really alive. He's kind of more of I don't know, this deity thing that doesn't die really. He's not I don't think he's really considered a ghost, but he's this force of evil. But yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, they to get rid of Freddy in this one, they set him on fire.
Yep.
In one scene. And, she was all freaking out once Jesse to be alive, and, after Freddy's done melting away there, out comes Jesse.
Yeah, he comes out of the corpse of Freddy, which it's all burnt up, and then he's pretty much, he just comes, he rips it kind of off his face. Is the first thing you see is his face come out of the head of him. And I don't know, he's back to his normal self.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say in this one, but it does later in the franchise. That he made a deal with the Dream People and stuff, and that's what makes Freddy exist.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Like I say, it doesn't say in this one that that's what he is. So you're just doing a lot of guessing on this film.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place, and yep. It's by far one of the weaker films, in my opinion, of the franchise. It's it starts out kind of alright. You think at first this kid's gonna move into this house, and the beginning of it's not so bad, but then it starts to. I started to get bored. I had to I don't know. I was on my on a tablet sitting there going on the internet while I was on it, and I usually don't do that with movies, so I was starting to lose a lot of interest, kind of, while I was watching it until Freddy came back.
Right. Right. And like you say at the beginning, which we completely didn't talk about, that is a really cool scene, though, you know. And you have Robert Englund as the bus driver.
Oh, yeah.
As well, you know. And that opening scene is definitely great. I mean, you know, he takes the bus off up into the Dream World area and stuff up on those rocks and everything like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and then the end, he goes through he thinks the bus isn't going to stop, and then out of nowhere, Freddy's glove goes through the one girl talking behind him, and then it goes off into the desert like it does the dream, and then it stops. The movie's over.
Right. So yeah, the very beginning and the very end of this movie are definitely the best parts.
Yeah, so if you just want to fast forward to the end, you're set.
You know, watch that opening scene, skip to the pool scene maybe, where, you know, we're all my children, and then go to the end.
Yep, and then you're done.
That's all you need out of this movie. I mean, I even have the T-shirt of the bus, you know, and Freddy's hands going around the bus and stuff. I mean, this is an iconic scene. But yeah, you want to move on to the ratings for this one?
Yeah, let's get it over with. 5.4 for IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes is 40%, 33% audience. So yeah.
All right.
You go ahead and rate this first.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I mean, like I said, there is a few iconic scenes for sure, but I'll give this one a 5 out of 10 just for those few scenes. I mean, say it's the least amount of time of Freddy on the screen, and it, like you, it didn't do it for me. I was kind of on my phone at the same time watching it too, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You like lose interest. Like I couldn't help it. I was just like, just like come on, let's get it moving. Like that's kind of how I felt. I want to see some cool stuff.
I mean, it is a Freddy film, so you know, and it is my favorite franchise. So I'll stick with there right about a 5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.5. That's what I was thinking. I mean, if you're gonna watch them all, you might as well watch them all. But this one, it doesn't really give a lot to the. I mean, like I said and you said too, with the bus scene, and like I mean, doesn't really do much for it. I mean, because this kid moves in, and then those kids start to die, and then you have Dream Warriors, which is next, and that's just so much. Like that's an awesome movie. So
right. Which I mean, we'll talk about it more when we move on to that one, but, you know, they start that one like 2 didn't even exist.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much,
I mean,
yeah.
They want you to forget about 2.
They're like, that never happened. Yeah.
So, I mean, you had none of the same cast members in here, nothing relating to the first one, really. I mean, you know.
Other than the house, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Right, and the diary and stuff like that, but, you know, which, you know, they didn't even, you know, find the glove in the furnace when they cleaned everything out of the house or that diary or anything. It wasn't really that well hidden. She found it right away.
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't hide that anywhere. She didn't have a special compartment or anything. You know, you think it would be, but...
Yeah, it was just sitting in the closet inside a little area in there. I mean, it's not like it was under a floorboard or something.
And you thought, too, kind of like the beginning of 2, it had kind of more of like a supernatural way to it in the beginning, kind of. So you're like, this is going to be awesome. And then, yeah, you just got to fast forward to those good parts and you're set. That's all I have to say. Let's go to 3.
Alright. So yeah, part 3, Dream Warriors. yeah, a lot of well-known names in this one for sure. I mean, you got Patricia Arquette in here playing the main role of Kristen. You got Lawrence Fishburne in here as Max, the orderly. Yeah, and then Heather Langenkamp comes back to reprise her role as Nancy.
Yep.
So definitely a star-studded cast.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff. Like I love the psych ward type thing for all the kids that have the sleeping thing. They're all seeing Freddy. That's just cool. Like you got a whole group of these people now, and like they're all freaking out, and they're trying to cure him, and it's not really working. The methods, and then Nancy comes in because she's like the intern, or is it like because that one guy was like
they say something along the lines of we're going to bring in a I can't remember if it's like a professional
or a hotshot or something.
A hotshot or something. How is it that Freddy comes back in this one?
Well, the first one, it's like through the first kill is that puppet kill with that one guy with the puppets, but he gets back because
I know it's Kristen starts having the dreams of him first.
Yeah, there's just like a random dream of it, and then he becomes one of that kid's puppets that he makes, and then that's kind of his first appearance, and then he controls him as a puppet, and then he just kind of gets his power then, I feel like. But
yeah, I think they all start dreaming about him is what it is. And,
the power builds back up.
He feeds off that energy to get him to come back and everything. But yeah, like you said, the first kill is the marionette kill there on what's his name, Philip. Turns him into that and walks him through the halls and everything, and controlling him through all his tendons, and walks him out the window there, and they all think he committed suicide, or want the other kids to think that, but they're not buying it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool with how he does that, because I even have the toy of the puppet. Like, it comes with I think it's the McFarlane one with all the collection, but yeah, you get the puppet with that toy, so that's kind of cool. Of like the claymation, I thought that was really cool with how it was Freddy, kind of. I don't know, the puppet kill was pretty sweet, I liked it.
Alright. And I liked all the characters as well. I mean, they could have probably casted a better person for what was his name? Kincaid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's supposed to be this badass, hard-ass guy, but, his voice isn't really that tough, and just kind of gives off more of a feminine vibe than should have for that role, I guess. Maybe I'm in the minority in that, I don't know, but, they definitely could have picked a tougher guy for that role.
Yeah, he's always freaking out. He's in isolation all the time. I don't know. At first, you didn't think he was going to talk much. Like, if they would have kept him quieter, I think you would think he's more of a badass. But he talks all the time, and I think that's what kind of throws people off. He's like always kind of. I mean, he's pretty funny though with some of the lines he says. Like, I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous, but I guess it's kind of funny watching him do what he does. But
yeah, at some points he's like all scared and stuff, and at other points he's like, "Hey, come on,
let's do this."
And then stuff starts happening, and then he kind of freaks out.
Yeah, he's like,
"Which is it gonna be, man?"
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, Freddy, you chicken shit," or I don't know. He says something like that, like, and he's trying to get him to come out.
Yeah. I can't remember, between this one and 4, which one he says stuff in. So I don't want to say the wrong thing, but
yeah,
because he does come back in that one. But the next kill after Philip there is what is it? Jennifer's kill. Probably the best, most iconic kill in this one. You know, with the tagline. You know, where she's sitting there watching TV and trying to keep herself awake with the cigarette burns there.
Yeah. And, you should just say the tagline. That's a cool tagline, man. The way.
But yeah, you see she's watching the TV, and I forget the woman's name that's on the TV, who was a big star back then. She got like a 3-name name or something. But
yeah, I'm not sure who it is either.
Freddy tells her to like shut the fuck up or something on the TV, and
yep, and then he's like, "Welcome to primetime, bitch." That was awesome. With his head coming out of the TV. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's just cool. Like, that'd be cool if they even made that for like the top of TVs back then. I mean, not now because it wouldn't really work with how thin they are and stuff. But like, I don't know. That's just really cool how his head came out of it, and then he picks her up and throws her head in the TV and. The guy, I mean, if they think that's suicide, like the people that are working there, it's like, how the hell would you just ram your head into a TV and die? I mean, come on, you'd have to be pretty messed up to be like, I'm gonna kill myself, but I'm just gonna throw my head in a TV.
Right. Yeah, I mean, his head coming out and his arms coming out, yeah, that's just definitely just very iconic. You even see people at conventions every now and then with their, you know, they're wearing the TV on their head and got the arms coming out and stuff, walking around, you know?
Yeah,
especially when there's like an Elm Street reunion or something.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And that was one of the few lines, at least at that point, that was completely Robert Englund came up with. You know, it was originally supposed to be like, "You're on TV now," or "Welcome to Hollywood," or some stupid shit like that. I don't know. But, you know, he came up with that, and it just stuck and, you know, grabbed on, and everybody liked it, so.
Yeah, it definitely would have sounded better than what they were originally going to pick. But yeah, so the next kill, you know, you got the TV one, and then they all go to with Nancy, and you know, because they all get fired. Nancy gets fired, and then that one main guy handling the case with the kids, because he wants to put him on that, is it what is that medication? Cause it's
Hypnocil.
Yeah.
I do believe.
Yeah, that's...
Where they don't have dreams.
Yeah. He wants to put him on that, because Nancy convinces him. You know, and he's probably... He kind of has a thing for it, you can kind of tell, and, you know... He lets... She knows what she's talking about with this guy, 'cause she sees him too, so he's like, well, want to help him. And then that one other lady, you know, she doesn't really care about any of this. She just thinks it's all hocus pocus, and she don't believe any of it. She's just like, you know, I'm gonna give them what they really need, and she thinks their methods are stupid, pretty much. So.
And at the same time, the main doctor, what was his name, Neil, I think.
Yeah.
He's having starting to see a nun walking around.
Yeah.
As well.
Yep.
He's trying to figure out who she is and everything, which, you know, we come to find out later that, you know, it's Freddy's mom.
Yep, she pops up randomly, and it's kind of like, I don't know, just randomly to show him, I mean, where stuff's happened and stuff, she'll tell him this is what happened to... So you get kind of a backstory with her. She kind of fills in some of the gaps that you have questions to the franchise. She's kind of filling in the parts you're kind of questioning with some of it, so you get an idea of how Freddy became who he is and stuff. So she's kind of...
I can't remember. Is it this one where it shows him as a kid and stuff?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
I've watched so many of them.
They blend in, yeah. It happens. They do. Especially this one and the next one, like in the beginning of the next one for sure. You can't really tell a lot of it apart from each other. But, yeah, the one dude goes into the coma, and that's when they all get fired, because Freddy ties them up with tongues, because he takes that hot nurse or whatever, gets her naked, and then pretty much, you know, a dude's like, oh yeah, I've been after her ever since I started in the psych ward or whatever. because he would always go help her with random stuff, and I don't know. Speaking of the staff, besides her, that one dude, you can definitely tell he's just trying to hook them up with like drugs and stuff so he can get them to do like sexual favors and crap. The one creepy dude, kind of, you don't really see him much, but he's like, I can get you stuff to the girls anyhow. And like he always bugs like a lot of the girls in the ward because he's like, oh, I'll hook you up. I don't know.
Are you referring to the orderly?
Yeah, it's like he's like one of the staff guys. I don't know. He's like with the guy that's in the Matrix is kind of the guy in it too. Yeah, he's cool, but the other guy that he works next to, kind of, I don't know. He's not really in it a whole lot, but
yeah, I mean, I like that scene too, where Freddy turns into or the nurse turns into Freddy and stuff. That's a great scene.
Yeah,
for sure. And you think he's gonna die right there. I honestly couldn't remember, it'd been so long. And come to find out, he's just in a coma. And kept in like this dream, Freddy's dream world.
Yeah, I think he was more just
pit of fire.
Yeah, it's more like bait to the rest, Like, I feel like he just did that so they'd all come out to the dream world. Like, he kind of just purposely got him so he could get all of them at once. And they all experience it because she has to go through the one staff guy, Nancy does, to run back after she's been fired, and then she runs in there and gets the kids, and they're like, oh, we've missed you, and then they go right to the world, the dream world. They all just, start sleeping and go there. And the first kill with that is the punk chick or whatever, the girl that's kind of the junkie, or
yeah, the Tara.
Yeah,
Taria or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Right before that, the one scene I want to touch on real quick. After the scene where Joey goes into a coma and everything, you have Kristen goes back into that like dream state or whatever, and kind of starts back like from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Where you have her mom in there telling her, and her mom's got the date and everything, and then in the later scene of that, Freddy's her date or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Cuts her mom's head off and all that shit.
And her head talks. Yeah, I actually have that toy too, where it's him in the tux, and he's got that head in his hands. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I definitely wanted to touch on that. I know it's pretty iconic. So.
Yeah, good thing you did, because I was actually I was going to the whole dream world thing, and then I was gonna probably skip it. Oops. Yeah, but
it was kind of fucked up how it started at the beginning of the movie again, though. Like, was the whole thing up to that point supposed to be a dream? Or,
yeah. Yeah, you really don't know. I mean, it kind of throws you off guard with the whole thing, because, I mean, they're telling you 2 didn't even exist, so you're like, oh man, what is going on? You're kind of, like, at this point, you don't know what's going to happen, kind of. So
yeah. And as you were saying, that the next kill after all that, with the syringes.
Yeah, that was awesome, where he got into her open needle marks and just stuck her. And there's toys like that too I've seen. Like, I know the Funko's got one. I actually have one where he's got the needles on his hands. That's really cool.
Right, yeah, I have that Funko of the syringe gloves. Yeah, I love that one.
That thing's awesome.
But, what's the line he uses on that one? Is it, hey, let's get high, or something like that? Or
I can't think
of
the
exact words.
Yeah, but it was awesome. Just the way he did it. Yeah, I probably should have wrote that down, but I didn't.
I didn't either. But this marks the appearance too of the chest of souls on Freddy there, which is another iconic thing. I know they sell that as a costume and everything as well, and there's figures and everything like that.
Yeah, it's awesome looking. I want to get that figure actually. There's one where you have the hands and everything out of it too. It's just freaking awesome.
Right, and it definitely carries on into more films than this one. That that's what he's doing is collecting the souls of the children and everything like that.
Yeah.
And in one of them, you have Linnea Quigley plays the soul coming out.
Oh, when they open him up or whatever and get him all out, yeah. They're... Because all the heads are all just stuck in there from the people he's killed. They're all just begging to get out of there. It's a mindlessness of Freddy's hell pretty much on his body. Yeah, and then the next kill was the Wizard Master guy with the wheelchair. That was pretty funny. Like, I was thinking he was going to get ran over by the wheelchair, but, you know, he blows it up because he becomes the wizard because it's his dream, and this is like the first time, other than the punk chick, is they're starting to experience that they can start to have their own powers. Like, in this franchise, they start to really realize, oh, I can fight back by doing this. This is like where they start to really, you know, try to do stuff in their dreams to them. Like, they're like, oh, I don't have to sit here and take this. But yeah, he does like that wizard stuff, and I don't know, blows up the chair, and then Freddy just picks him up and kills him. So, like, I don't know. He's like, I'm the dungeon master. I don't know. I think Freddy makes... Oh, no. Yeah, Freddy... The line from that is, I don't believe in fairy tales. Pretty sure. When he kills him. Yeah, I wanted to touch on, too, the NES game is exactly like Dream Warriors, if you've ever played it. You have to go burn his bones. Freddy's bones, you gotta go get them all. I collected a lot of his bones, but I still cannot beat it. I'm trying to. Like, because you verse parts of Freddy, like, his head will attack you, or whatever, and then he'll come out and attack you when you go into Dream World. If you're in Dream World too long, he'll actually come out and fight you. And you can have up to 4 players on that, too. I've only played with 2, but it's kind of a pain if the other guy sucks, because you have to follow the guy around until he dies. So if you're playing with a player that's no good, just don't even bother. But yeah, it's a fun game.
See, I have on here that Freddy's skeleton comes out of the junkyard, kills Nancy's dad.
Yep, that does happen, because Nancy contacts her dad, with the one psychiatrist guy, or whatever he is, that dude in charge of all those kids, to get a hold of him to find out where the bones are, because Nancy hasn't spoken to him in forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just pick up from, like,
there.
that point then.
Okay.
Because you already talked about the Wizard Master.
Yep. So yeah, pretty much, the whole thing with the Wizard Master after he dies, he gets picked off there, and then they all kind of try to, well, Nancy, this is like before they went into the dream world, her other friend helping her gets the dad, and they go try to dig up his body in the junkyard where he claims that they buried Freddy, and they really didn't even bury, or they stuck him in like a back of a trunk of a car in the junkyard.
Which was the car they drive off in the first one.
Oh, is it? I didn't even notice.
Rear end of that one.
No, I didn't. Yeah, so he brings the shovel there, and then he tries to drive off because he's like, I'm not going to stick around for this. Because he's like scared. And he's like, no, you're going to help me. And they get stuck because the cars all kind of come together and they're kind of stuck in that area, and then Freddy's skeleton starts to fight him, and then at the same time they're in the dream world with him as this is going on. So what they do to Freddy, like the skeleton, reflects him into the dream world. Like, you know, if they do something to him, he'll like get hit into the dream world, and they're just like looking at it like, what's going on? He's doing 2 fights at once, going back and forth.
Alright, I believe it's Freddy's mom that tells them what they need to do, isn't it? They
gotta burn his bones. Yeah.
Right, that they need to get his bones and put him in a resting place or whatever.
Yeah. Do they actually burn him though, or is it just they bury him? I'm
He
not.
throws that holy water on it.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, after that, they go into that house of mirrors.
Yep.
And Freddy's coming out of all the different mirrors, which is a really cool scene. And they start kind of getting pulled in a little bit into the mirrors and everything. He's trying to grab him into his world and all that. And then finally, the Joey, who has said a word the whole movie, screams as loud as he can, and it shatters all the mirrors and everything. And that's supposed to be like the first time you think it's over, that he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, they all escape out because they get chucked out of the mirrors, and then they randomly they go into the other room, but yeah, before that they save Joey from all that tongue stuff or whatever that was on his arms and stuff, and they had to fight Freddy to get him back. But so I think in between that, then he kills Nancy's dad. Before that happens, doesn't he? That's another kill. He sticks him with the glove, and then he throws him against junk that pierces through his heart or something in the junkyard. Since two things are going on at kind of once with this film. If you remember that, he gets
right, yeah, he gets a shard of something like a pole or something through him.
Yeah.
Right.
And then pretty much they see all the lights going through him because he throws that cross at him and all that stuff, and it's like they have I don't know. It seems like a CGI type. It's like /3D or something. I don't know. The way they did it, with the effects. But yeah, you saw even with that iconic cross on his head, burnt through his head. They saw stuff just that too. A lot of this stuff from the Dream Warriors, it's everywhere on every scene. It seems like a lot of it's just out there. You can find.
It's right after the mirror scene where Nancy's hugging her dad though, and Freddy ends up being her dad.
Yeah, it's a trick.
And takes Nancy out.
Yep, kills Nancy, and then they pretty much do the thing to him with the cross holy water, and they bury him and all that. Or the one guy buries him because the dad's gone. He's dead too. And then they all it's kind of then they all get out. Then they're the Joey, Kincaid, and what was the other girl's name?
Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen. Get out of the dream world, and it starts at Nancy's funeral, right in the middle. It seems like the dream world stops, and then out of nowhere it's just Nancy's funeral, and that's when the one guy, the psychiatrist, talks to the nun, and then he finds out that was Freddy's mom, at the end.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the end of the movie.
Well, the very end of the movie is the light coming on in the dollhouse.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Leaving it open for the sequel to that one there.
For Dream Master, yeah. So yeah, I'll read off. You want to go to ratings then, or?
Sure.
Alright, let's do it. 6.6 on IMDb, 74 Rotten Tomatoes, audience 67%. This movie I actually liked a lot. This is probably one of my favorites that I've seen so far out of the whole franchise. Just because all the stuff going on is just really cool. The way they did all the stuff. I don't know, it's its own its own world. You get to see the dream world the way it is. I don't know, I gave this one a 9. I really liked it.
Right, yeah, I gave this one a 9 as well. I like this one just as much as the first.
Yeah, it's...
For other reasons, though. I mean, it's definitely the one where Freddy comes into his own. Robert Englund really starts getting into that character.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the fan favorite by far out of all of them. You see more people dressed up as these characters, or quote stuff from this movie, or whatever it may be. You ask anyone, what their favorite film is, a lot of people will say this one.
Yep. Yep, for sure. Even people that that don't know much about it, they'll like, oh, I love that Dream Warrior, or, you know, they love this one. Like, that's the one they'll tell you about a lot of times, from what I've noticed with people that aren't even huge horror fans.
Alright, yeah, and you actually give a shit about the characters in this one.
Yeah.
You did in the first one, you cared about, like, Nancy and stuff, and the second one, you didn't really care. And this one, it definitely has some good character development.
Yeah, it starts to build them a bit more, and, I mean, it's awesome seeing Freddy come out. Like, I loved it, where you started to see him, you know, with the way he does the quotes before he kills them. Like, he says something, and then he just kills them. That's awesome. That's great. It's what you kind of remember about Freddy. Like, he always has, like, something to say.
Alright, that's the reason this has always been my favorite franchise. You know, because he does talk and he does have a personality and everything, unlike Michael or Jason. You know, they're just mindless killers. You know,
same with Leatherface too. He doesn't talk
fun with his victims.
Yeah. Yep. Like a lot of them, yeah, they just have a mask on and they don't talk at all. And I mean, there's not a whole lot of killers you see in slashers where they're constantly saying stuff. It's usually not talking or very little talking or something. You know, it's not at this level really.
Right. A lot of them use their emotions, their eyes, and stuff like that. You know, I mean, nothing against the Halloween franchise or Friday the 13th or anything. I love those as well.
Yeah.
But definitely the funnest of the killers to watch. Even though I believe he has the least amount of kills, you know, as far as your major slashers like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
move on to part 4?
Yeah, sure. First with Freddy, he wasn't always, like, my favorite. Like, I always picked Jason compared to him, but I'm starting to warm up to Freddy more, like, with, if, I don't know, like, out of killers and stuff, he's a lot cooler than I remember. Like, I remember watching him. Did you ever, like, rent the VHSs as a kid and stuff, or?
Oh, yeah. I grew up watching all these movies, too, you know.
Yeah.
My sisters would be watching them. They're a lot older than me, and I'd go out there, and I'm not supposed to watch it, but they let me.
You do anyway.
You know,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And,
and
same thing, like you were saying, I don't remember 3 being as good as it was. And rewatching it again, I enjoyed it a lot more now.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if it was watching it on Blu-ray made it better. I have the same set you were talking about, you know, the big DVD set that I got back when it came out for like $100-something.
Yeah.
So I still have that one too, but
well, I just
watched it in a while. So
I just remember going to the video store and you'd see all the cool artwork for these. I mean, because they're all in the same section. You had Friday the 13th, you had Nightmare, and they're all like, and you saw the artwork to these, and you're just like, oh man, I can't wait till I get old enough. But my parents had read them for me anyway. Like, I don't know, it was probably like 12, 13, I don't remember. They would let me see it anyway, though. They'd go rent it for me, but I would see those, and I would just, like, as a younger kid, like, before then they wouldn't rent them, but I was just like, can't wait to get older and see these. Just that artwork alone, I was like, wow, that's cool.
Right, yeah. I mean, the Elm Streets definitely have the better artwork out of the slasher franchise there. I mean, you have that dreamlike stuff going on, and just a lot of different things going on in the artwork, as opposed to like Friday the 13th is pretty bland artwork on there. The only thing you think you're going to get out of that is some tits and ass on the screen there.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one then. Dream Master for 4.
He is the first in fear.
Will you help me? Someone help me, please!
Second to none.
Don't let them put you to sleep.
He has no mercy. And no equal.
Now no one sleeps.
Get ready. This August, your wildest dreams will come true.
How sweet, fresh meat.
A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. The Dream Master.
It starts out with Kristen, right? Like, is a whole different. Someone completely changes. It's a whole different actress that plays her. It's not Did you get the names of them and stuff? It's Tuesday night.
Patricia Arquette played Kristen.
Yeah, it's Tuesday night that plays her in this one. So that throws you off a little bit. Right away, I noticed that. Like right away, I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, that was the first thing I said to my wife. You know, she rewatched all these with me as well, and I mean, she loves them as much as I do. And I'm like, "What? They just replaced the main actress and expect us not to know, you know, or notice, you know, like."
Yeah.
And Patricia was definitely the better actress of the two by far. But I mean, she did okay in this.
Yeah, you can just definitely tell by her face. I was like, who is that? Like, at first you think it's someone different, kind of, going into this world, because you have that chalk scene in the beginning with that little girl. And then, actually just watched this one today. But yeah, it's Kim Cade. The whole start of it is she gets them to go back. Somehow they're able to forget about Freddy for a little while, besides Kristen going back, right? She's like the only one that keeps going back into the world for like no reason.
Right, which causes the rest of them to start
going back,
dreaming about him again. Yeah, and the first one to dream about him again is Kincaid.
Yep, and
gets sucked into that world, and
yep, that's your first kill actually, is Kincaid. He's in the junkyard too. Like, it doesn't even go to the normal dream world. It just goes right to where his bones were, and then you see him. The bones turn into Freddy. Like the organs and everything come back, and
right. Which how he comes back is astonishing to me. That, you know, his dog pees on where Freddy's buried. He pees out the fire.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Freddy's back. Like, really? What the fuck? That doesn't make sense.
That makes no sense at all.
Notice his dog's name is Jason.
Yeah, I did.
Like a black and white dog.
I did notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been cool if he would have had a little red, you know, on his nose or something.
Yeah. Try to do the whole like.
So I don't know if they did that on purpose to pay homage to
Friday the 13th. Yeah. I'm not sure either. Now that I'm thinking about it.
But I mean, we know they do merge together eventually, so.
Yeah. So, I don't know. The one girl, it's kind of, she brings the people back into the dream world. Kim K gets knocked off, like, right in the junkyard. I thought it was great because he throws that car and crushes Freddy, and he's like, "Take that, motherfucker!"
Yeah, he's all cheering. Yeah.
You know? That was awesome. And then, pretty much after that,
yeah, pretty weak kill on Kincaid, though.
Yeah.
He just stabs him in the stomach, and
Yep.
dead, you know.
Yeah, I was expecting more.
Could have been better.
Yeah. Well, then shortly after that, it's the other dude with the, isn't it Joey, or his name?
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, the kid that was a mutant, now he's talking like full sentences in this one, and these, you know, they're all kind of hanging out with each other after the dream world, and like as friends in high school or whatnot. And the Joey kid has the like model on his poster that's like signed and everything. He's like staring at it, and then she comes in the waterbed, and she's naked, and he's like just looking down, and he's like, "Oh boy!" And then Freddy pops out of nowhere and gets him. That was cool.
Right. Which I always get that scene confused with the Johnny Depp one. I keep thinking it's Johnny Depp that sees him in the waterbed, and it's not. It's this one.
I actually do too. Yeah. For some reason, the same thing happens to me as well. And I wonder if them's you should let us know if that happens to you guys too, the viewers, because that's kind of bugged me too. That's why I think Always Dies too. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be Johnny Depp? And I'm like, oh, nope. That's the blood running up all over the place. But yeah. Yep.
Right, and I mean, I have no complaints with that scene either. It's a nice scene to watch.
Yeah.
But, you know, I expected it to be like the Johnny Depp scene, though, and him get all, you know, sliced up and blood everywhere coming out of the bed, and he just gets, like, sucked up underneath the bed and stuck in there.
Yeah, and then a bunch of blood everywhere, and then the next day it's just him in the waterbed. The mom, like, lifts up the sheets, and there's, like, no body on top, so then she lifts up the sheets and sees him in the waterbed, just floating.
But yeah, definitely one of the memorable kills in that. And I think, you know, after not watching it for a while is what throws us off, thinking, you know, getting those two scenes mixed up.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, they're similar, so.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, is Christian kind of brought all these people back. She brought those two back, so they're both dead now, and then she brings, like, her, all these other people in, like, the guy dating her, and then the sister of him, and then you get the one chick, and then you get the nerdy girl. So they all get kind of, and then the, like, football player guy, or whatever. All of them get sucked in because she, you know, talks to the boyfriend, and he's, like, all into it, too. He's like, I'm gonna save her, you know, and he's doing all those karate moves and trying to be the hero and whatnot, and then
this is what, Alice's brother? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the doing all the ninja moves.
Yeah, I love that, you know, little 80s style montage where he's training and stuff and thinks he's a badass.
Yep. And he tries to train his sister too. She throws a shoe into the fish tank.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, I mean, is it like Kristen's fault that all this is happening to these other people? I mean, she calls Alice into her dream and all this stuff. Would they have been okay if she wouldn't have reached out to her friends, you know?
That's what I'm wondering too. I wonder if it would just ended with her, like, you know, Freddy probably would just killed her off, and then these other guys, because I mean, the boyfriend and the other people had no idea about it, you know, or any, besides Kim K and Joey, maybe they'd get sucked in, but the other people, probably not. It didn't really seem like it. I mean, I guess they were the Elm Street kids, the last of them or something, he was saying, because they lived, like, around the same area, so.
Right, but he wants to keep going, he wants to keep killing and stuff, so he wants Kristen to bring in these new kids.
Yep.
You have the scene where Freddy's the nurse and stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Was pretty funny too. I mean, it wasn't Freddy, it was, well, Robert Englund as the nurse.
Yeah. It was funny too, like, with the dad. He's like a drunk, and he knows what happened with Freddy. I think he was one of the dads, actually. So now that I think of it, they're probably linked to it too, because he probably helped kill Freddy. Because he's that drunk dude, and then he's like, you don't think I know what's going on, or whatever, to her, to the sister. I wonder, I don't know if he actually if he was a part of it or not. But yeah, it was funny because he said that he makes her like the housewife, but the daughter making meals for him. He's like, 10-hour day at work, and then I come home to this rabbit food, and then he acts like a rabbit. That was pretty funny. He did like the rabbit thing.
Alright.
Yeah.
And then you have the scene where Kristen's asleep, and she wakes up, and she's on the beach, talking to that little girl and everything, making the sandcastle, and
Freddy's got sunglasses.
Alright, you have the glove coming through the water, though. That was pretty cool, like that Jaws type.
Yeah, they got pretty creative with some of the kills in this, like, and just some of the Freddy stuff, you know. It's just cool how they did it.
I think this one is definitely where they knew, like, Freddy was cool, you know?
Yeah.
Like on the beach with the shades and everything like that. There's posters of that, and there's all kinds of stuff. And that's when they really saw that we could market the hell out of this, these movies.
Yep. Yeah, after Dream Warriors had probably the success it had, I'm thinking they're like, we're gonna really just start making more and more. But yeah, so you have Kim Cade, Joey, and then Christian. She gets killed. I'm trying to think how she gets killed again.
He throws her into the boiler.
Oh yeah, she's on fire, and then it picks off because she calls in that the sister of the Karate Kid.
That's an Alice.
Yep. And she sees it all, and then she draws all those other people into it too, like in the dream. So he says fresh meat when she comes in there. So he knows
how sweet fresh meat.
Yeah, he just knows he's got a whole bunch more kids now to kill off, pretty much. And then they even poke her. Go ahead.
That's where Alice first gets her first energy from Kristen's death, and you see that she can take a part of that person that has died.
Yeah.
That live inside of her.
Yeah, for sure. Alright.
So yeah, moving on. After Kristen dies and everything like that, Alice gets her power. The next kill after that is with Sheila. She falls asleep in the classroom, and Freddy comes out of the desk. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. He's the teacher, and then he ties them all up to
yeah. Claw comes out of the desk first, though.
And then he ties him to the desk. The one girl, while she's trying to warn her, the girl taking the test, and then he just comes out and kisses her, and it kills her because he drains. She becomes all old and
sucks the life out of her.
Yeah, like a deflated balloon kind of look.
With the famous catchphrase, "You want to suck face?"
Yeah, and she's she's freaking out. Yeah, and nobody notices anything, and then she has an asthma attack and it kills her.
Right, yeah. I do love Freddy as the teacher, though, when it comes to that scene, and he's cutting the apple with the glove and everything. I'm like, man, that's convenient as hell.
Yep, he's right there.
It just goes back to, to 3, where he starts coming into that character, and you can tell he's having fun being Freddy and everything.
Yeah, and pretty much he's killed Did we talk about him killing the karate guy, or no?
That hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay. I wasn't yeah. Alright.
That's actually the next one after Sheila here.
Yeah.
He goes into the dream world with Rick.
Yep.
He's in that dojo or whatever.
And he's fighting him.
Freddy's glove.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you of I don't know, like a fighting game almost, but he's invisible. I don't know. And then he starts to show himself after with the glove, you can kind of tell where he's at. With after you see the glove, you kind of get an idea where he's moving. After that comes visible. But
right. And Rick starts getting a few punches landed in there, and he thinks he's about to kick his ass, and then the glove just stabs Rick right in the stomach and takes him out.
Yep, and he's done. And that's the end of him, and then, she gets more probably into depression because, his brother's girlfriend, all these other people she kind of knew was dead. They're all just dying, dropping like flies, and she's got to deal with, her dad. And then she's working double shifts to stay up or something at work. Works at a diner. I think it's probably a 24-hour diner or something, I don't know. And then
it's the dropping like flies thing that you said is, you know, exactly what the one guy says. We're dropping like flies around.
Yeah, it is pretty much at that point. It's just her and the one girl like that becomes the roach. Isn't she the next one that dies? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the diner thing you touched on, I love that scene too. I mean, that's an iconic scene there with the faces and the pizza and everything.
Yeah, and he just he picks one
of
up
my favorites
and he eats it. Yeah, like a head. It has a head on the meatball and he just eats it. Yeah, there's a lot of cool scenes with Freddy's sense of humor and stuff, and pretty much the one girl's all working out. Everyone's dropping, and they're dying. And she wants to get all tough now, so she starts to work out. You know, she goes on those bike rides and does the lifting and the weights. And then, as she's doing it, Freddy like pops out of nowhere and pushes the weight down on her, and then like breaks her arms, like they crack open. And like she gets like the roach arms, right?
Right. He turns her into a cockroach.
Yeah.
On the character of Debbie.
Yep. And
puts her in that trap, the little roach motel.
Yeah, that was great. And then he just squishes it. And then she's done for pretty much because she's stuck in that and can't move. She becomes like pretty much a whole roach at the end of it. Like her face and everything's gone and becomes one.
Right. Yeah, I love that scene, man, where her face is down in all that goo and it's just like falling at her face. And,
yep.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, actually. Even, you know, nowadays watching it, it's pretty nasty.
And they also have the toy of her, too, with the roach arms and all that. Like, I don't know. That's something it's kind of like I don't know, it's like iconic in the sense of like, you know, it's Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, when you see it. Kind of.
Yeah, I think it's one of the lesser sought-after toys, though. That's one I come across quite a bit.
Yeah, it definitely
for a pretty cheap price.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a better toy if it would have been like her whole body as the roach and just like her face or something would have been cooler. I don't know.
Yeah, something to it, like that would make it a little bit better. Yeah, I think maybe like the ooze on her, like maybe just like a statue type figure or something would have been better.
Or a giant box, you know, and said Roach Motel on it, and you could see her inside of it or something. But
yeah.
Anyway.
Let's move on here. We got... Who is the next person after that? I'm trying to think.
That is it, man.
That's it.
Kills.
Okay, yeah, because the one girl's with the jock dude, and they drive around because they're trying to stop that whole Roach Motel thing from her getting squished. That's one thing that I hate actually with this movie is the one scene that bugs me is the one where they do the warp back and forth, like repeating it, and they're like, "We've done this before." They're like, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then they do it again, and they're like, all right, I know we've done this before. And they like...
What is it? She always starts out saying, we have to hurry, I'm driving.
Yep. And then just repeats.
We have to hurry, I'm driving.
Yep.
I feel like we've done this before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a constant, that over and over again.
So yeah, I mean, the only people alive at this point are Alice and... I can't remember his name either. I think it's Dan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her boyfriend. And the ending to this is kind of shitty, really. I don't really care for it, you know. Just Alice is in that church or whatever.
Yep.
Takes the what do you call that kind of glass?
It's like art glass, or I forget what it's called too. I know what you're talking about though. It's on all those old.
I can't think of the name of it.
It's in like all those old Catholic churches. Like a lot of churches have it too. But it's like got the. What is it called? You're right. I don't know what it's.
Anyway, yeah, I know it's got a certain name for it, and it's real expensive and all that kind of shit. But anyway, all she does is show Freddy himself.
Yeah.
Like to kill him, which makes no sense at all, because I mean, weren't they in a house of mirrors in the last one?
Yeah, I know, it reflects
But how
off.
he sees himself, I don't, and there's some kind of line about, evil seeing itself or something along those lines.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
I can't remember the
sense
exact.
at all. And then the bodies, like, come out of him, like, at that point, like, they're ripping out of his head, all over his chest, and wherever else, like, hands, and the ghost you said came out.
Yeah, all the arms and faces coming out and all that. And this is the one I was mistaken. This is the one with Linnea Quigley from Return of the Living Dead, and all that is the main soul coming out of his stomach where the boobs are coming out. That's like her. They used her cast for that or whatever like that.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I just thought was interesting.
It was pretty cool, like with all the body parts coming out of them. I don't know, that's just awesome looking.
Yeah, and then again, this one's left open for a sequel to this one as well, where they're at the little waterfall. What do you call it? The fountain thing at the end, and she makes a wish, and you see Freddy in the water.
Yeah.
Wow! Surprise, surprise! There's going to be another one.
Yep. So, yeah. Let's go to ratings then for this one. IMDb gave it 5.7. Rotten Tomatoes 56. Audience 44%. What did you give this one?
I mean, I had a lot of fun with this one. Like we've talked about, it definitely has a lot of iconic scenes in this one as well, and everything. I give this one probably about a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, the story wasn't, perfect by any means or anything like that, and a couple of the kills weren't great, but definitely, I always remember like that pizza scene from even being a kid, and the roach and everything like that. So
yeah, besides the one scene, that's my only complaint about this movie. Other than that, like it's kind of like a combination of the other movie too, because I mean it's kind of like, I don't know, they go back and back, like back to back. Like it's a continuation, so it's like it's all one movie. It feels like in a sense, because you keep confusing both of them because the same characters are there. So
yeah. I mean, the one scene was pretty annoying where they kept having the deja vu or whatever like that, but the reasoning behind that was because Freddy was trying to keep her there longer in that part of the world in that time.
Yep, that's just his tricks. He does, he's that powerful, and then she kills him with the reflection, but it's all good. He's gonna be back.
Because he's doing that stuff to Debbie while she's trying to get to Debbie, so he keeps her in that state that she's in.
Yeah, I'd give this one a 7. I mean, I liked it, but it's not like Dream Warriors. It's a good movie. Like, these are definitely the better ones out of the franchise. Like, these two are, like, Dream Warriors especially, but it's a good movie. Like, I liked it a lot. So, yeah, the next podcast, we're going to do the rest of them, and including the remake and all that, so leave us comments what you guys think of the movies and everything, and I'd be interested to hear what people say about, like, just how they felt, like if you saw them on VHS as a kid and kind of like the start of it for you. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to think of what, teenagers today think of them too, watching them for the first time, how well they've held up over the years and everything,
Yeah.
And, yeah, definitely let us know what you guys think of these films, and I think for us, we definitely like all the ones that we reviewed today, minus part 2.
Yeah, part 2 doesn't exist.
Which is still
but
enjoyable in some parts.
yeah.
But, yeah, if you're going to watch them, definitely watch 1, 3, and 4 are the best ones of the franchise so far. I mean,
yeah. That's what I would say too. They're pretty awesome. I mean, Good films.
Yeah, and 3 and 4, like I said, you definitely get to see Robert Englund enjoying playing the character and really getting into it a lot more. So.
And I mean, the thing is too is people listen. You can tell how much we like these movies because we wouldn't be talking about them this long. I mean, we didn't enjoy them, so. Yeah.
And my wife had no problem watching them with me, so
Nice.
It's one of those movies, franchises that. Anytime they're on TV or, you go to someone's house and they're watching them, you just sit down and watch them. They're not unbearable.
Yeah, my wife said the same thing after I put Dream Warriors in last night. She was like, oh, this is like my favorite one, So she even got excited, but she passed out. But still, like, I don't know, like, 3 and 4, I mean, most people will watch, I would say, and same with the first one. Just don't show people 2 at your house if you're going to view these. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they could have took, the opportunity to really take these into a darker place plenty of times. There's so many different ways to go within dreams and everything like that. And that's the one thing that makes these films, scary to a lot of people is because he attacks you in your dreams. Everyone has to sleep. I mean, with Friday the 13th, you're fine if you're not at Camp Crystal Lake. With Halloween, you're fine if you're not related to somebody.
Yeah.
With this, you're fucked either way. I mean, you gotta sleep.
Yeah, you're screwed. You can't get out of it. Like, you can't run out of your dreams. You're gonna end up passing out after so many days. Even with Nancy, she got that, her hair changed color, like after, wasn't it, was that from...
It was at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that from... That was from...
Gray.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, which my wife noticed in part 3, her hair's gray on the other side.
Yeah. I thought we'd mentioned...
gray streaks, so...
Yeah, I thought we'd mention that, because I forgot to mention that, but...
Yeah, I didn't even pay attention, But...
Yep.
There was definitely more things I noticed this time. Like I say, I didn't notice the, bones being buried in the same car from the first one. And I said that to my wife. She's like, yeah. Like, she noticed. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, they're overall good.
I mean, you can watch them over and over again, and you'll notice, like, different things. So.
Yeah, I'd recommend getting the whole, like, collection on, Blu-ray, or you'd even get them on the DVDs. Like, during Halloween time, I know they sell them at, like, wherever. You can get, like, the 4, and then you can, if you want to go really cheaper out on getting them, or wherever. I mean, I'm sure the collection's probably not even much on DVD now, I think. Because,
Right, yeah, I see it around, like, $20 at half-price books or something.
Yeah.
I paid, like, $150. But
yeah.
It is what it is, And, I think I got the Blu-ray set on sale for around $20 at Best Buy.
So, yeah, it's
Halloween time, so.
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, but I'm going to keep the DVD set because I love the way it looks. I love him going across all the movies like that.
Speaking of which,
it's a great set.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I remember also, might as well mention it, but Freddy's, the only 2 video games he's in is, like, I already talked about the NES one, but the other one, he's actually in Mortal Kombat on Xbox 360. I'm sure it's on other stuff too, but you can play him and he's got 2 gloves on each hand, and you can just slash people pretty good. Like, it's pretty sweet It's pretty sweet that he's on that. Like, and I know the new one, the XL Mortal Kombat on Xbox One and the rest of them, that looks pretty sweet because you get Leatherface and all of them, and Alien and Predator and Jason. I mean, that's cool. I'd like to see all of them. I'd love to see all these characters on one, like, fighting game. That'd be cool.
I would love to see him on a Def Jam Vendetta, or a Def Jam Fight for New York. That's the game, where they had all the rappers.
Oh, yeah?
That fought each other. I would love to see that style with the horror characters.
Yeah.
That would be great, because that was a good fighting game. The Vendetta one wasn't great. Just the Fight for New York one.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, you had, like, DMX fighting and stuff like that, and Shaggy and all them guys.
I'd be cool with, like, any format as long as they put them all together. I'll buy it. Like, if they had them
Yeah,
all.
as long as it's not on like the iPhone, because I ain't playing games on that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
so, yeah, thanks for joining us, guys, on this podcast, and we look forward to continuing these films on the next one.
Yep, on part 2, and then tell us what you guys want us to watch, and give us reviews, and review us we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Speaker, Mixcloud, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Both of us have channels on there, and check them out, and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Reviews, any of that stuff would help us. So we'd like to know what you guys think. So yeah, see you guys next time, and tune in for part 2 next week.
I can't believe that there's a nightmare on my street.